Hey guys, it's Graham. What's cracking? Happy Memorial Day. It's just after midnight. I'm getting this video put together as I'm trying to warm up my engine so that I can knock out my pre-trip and go do a route. I'm in one of those one of those saps who works most holidays. Over the weekend, I got to be on a podcast with my friend Brett Kane for the third time. He runs the Ironside Podcast. And for the second time, he got to interview Craig Johnson, who's one of my favorite living writers. And the name sounds familiar. I've talked about his books before, but I haven't done a proper video dedicated to his series. But he writes the Walt Longmire mysteries. There was a Netflix series that ran for 6 seasons, very successful, but it was also kind of different from the books. Even though the characters all had the same names and it was set in the same place, the stories and the characters were pretty different from what he did in the series. So much so that it made it a little bit tricky for me after watching the show to get into the books. But after I got over that initial hurdle, I've really enjoyed both versions of it. But I'll explain more of that when I finally get to a breakdown. Check the link in the description. It'll take you to the landing page for Brett's podcast. You can check it out on all the different platforms or whatever. There's Spotify and there's Apple and everything. So you'll be able to find it on whichever one you use. But the 20th book in the series comes out tomorrow. It's called First Frost. I'll throw the image up right here. Highly recommend all of them. My two favorite books in the series overall are number 13, Western Star, and then a standalone novella called The Spirit of Steamboat. It's kind of like a Walt Longmire Christmas story. You don't really have to know a whole lot about the series to read that one in particular because it's kind of a flashback story. Just totally awesome. Walt's previous boss is a World War II veteran who flew in the Doolittle raids, and in a freak confluence of events one year on Christmas Eve when there's a blizzard, there's also a car accident, and a young woman needs to be life flighted from Wyoming to Denver, and everything's down. The only possible chance they have is to fly this Doolittle bomber from Wyoming to Denver, and the only guy they know who can fly it is this retired one-legged sheriff who was Walt's former boss. So kind of a gonzo concept, but Craig does it extremely well. It's my favorite single book in that whole series. But definitely check it out. Start with The Cold Dish. I'm going to go ahead and pre-order First Frost, so I got it on Audible tomorrow. And if you've read any of them, let me know what you think, and I'll get a series of videos going based on that. Have a great Memorial Day. Love you guys. Drive safe. See you out there.